Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice Radio. So today, we're going to be looking at a new supporter card, and ladies and gentlemen, this is a rather exciting supporter card indeed. Our translation comes from a mixture of the lovely David Hockman over at limitlesstcg.com/translations and the lovely Joe from Cerebi.net. It is Poke Maniac, and according to both those lovely ladies and gentlemen, and I think we can believe them at this stage, it lets you search your deck for free Pokemon that have a retreat cost of exactly 4, reveal them, and put them into your hand. It's Pokemon Search. Now, the wording of exactly 4 really is a little bit of future-proofing here. There are no Pokemon that actually have a retreat cost of more than 4 at this stage. In fact, the most recent Pokemon we do have, or did have, that has a retreat cost of 5 was Mamoswine. My boy. And even that, ladies and gentlemen, wasn't particularly recent, unfortunately. I mean, the last Mamoswine we actually had a retreat cost of 5 was the Mamoswine from Stormfront. Anyone actually know when Stormfront came out? It was a few years ago at this stage, ladies and gentlemen. November 2008. That is coming up for 11 years ago. So the whole at least 4 and exactly 4 are the same at the moment. It says exactly 4, so if we do get any with 5, they're not going to be able to get grabbed with this. But frankly, ladies and gentlemen, it's not particularly relevant. I just love the fact that it's Mamoswine here that we get to mention as a historical oddity. And here's the thing, right? As it stands at the moment, this is huge. Because this is coming in as the rotation hits. We're losing Ultra Ball. We're losing Nest Ball. We're losing Timeable. We're basically losing all our best Pokemon Search. Now, we're still going to have Pokemon Communication, but the big thing about Pokemon Communication is it doesn't get you a Pokemon, it swaps a Pokemon. We are going to have Mysterious Treasure, which is amazing, just so long as you only want to get Psychic or Dragon Pokemon. If you want to get anything other than Psychic or Dragon Pokemon, that's a very bad thing. And we're still going to have Professor Round's Lecture, which is great if you want 60 HP or less Pokemon, but if they don't have 60 HP or less, that's not really going to help. And this essentially is Professor Round's Lecture, except instead of low HP Pokemon, we're going for high retreat cost Pokemon. And look, we ain't got many other options. If you're a metal Pokemon, yay, we can use Jasmine. But even then, Jasmine's really only good on your first turn going second, where you get to search for 5 metal Pokemon. Otherwise, you're only getting 1 metal Pokemon. And using your supporter card for the turn, just to get a single Pokemon, that's not exactly ideal, ladies and gentlemen. That's not exactly ideal. So this is good Pokemon Search. The thing is, it all comes down to, alright, what are you searching? What are you actually getting with this? And there are a few, incidentally. When we hit the rotation, there are a few Pokemon you're going to be able to grab with this. But I'm going to be honest with you, it's fairly slim pickings. So if we have a look at the cards that have actually been released in the UK, US, Europe, etc., been released outside of Japan. We got the Wailord from Celestial Storm. I'm quite a big fan of this one. It's got 220 HP. It can do 200 damage for 4 energy. Of course, we're losing Max Potion, and you kind of need Max Potion for this, so that's a little bit awkward. We are, of course, we've got Guzzlord. We got the Guzzlord from Forbidden Light. It's not proven to be particularly good so far, but you know, we've still got Beastring running around. You never know. We've got the Metagross from Celestial Storm. Allows you to use Steven's Resolve without ending your turn, which is pretty good. And does 120 for single energy, though not the first time. It has to be, used for 60 and then you hit 120 afterwards. That's all right. We've got the Celesteela from Celestial Storm, which is really good if both players have exactly 6 prize cards remaining between them. Then it's 160 for 1 energy. And then we've got the Onyx from Lost Thunder, which does 120 for 4 energy. It's a pretty good counter for Pikachu and Zekrom. It'll get a 1-hit KO. It's a non-GX. It fits nicely into decks like Malamar. Yeah, that was not a powerhouse list of Pokemon, ladies and gentlemen. Now, honestly, the best uses we've got at the moment are actually Tag Team GXs. Celebi and Venusaur. That's cool. That's got a retreat cost of 4. Eevee and Snorlax, that's got a retreat cost of 4. And let's not forget Magikarp and Wailord, which, as you've probably guessed at this stage, has a retreat cost of 4. Okay, now we're doing a little bit better. We've got a little bit here. And if you're really relying on those guys in terms of Pokemon, we're doing all right. But that's about what we've got at the moment. And honestly, even if we start looking at Pokemon which are coming out in the near future, we've got Muck and Alola Muck Tag Team GX, so you can add another Tag Team GX onto here. And we've got the Rhydon, which actually does have a really nice attack. If you've used Giovanni's Banishment this turn, that's the one that discards 2 undamaged Pokemon from your bench, then you do actually get to discard 5 cards from the top of your opponent's deck. So okay, I've got a little bit of love for that one. That one's not too bad. And then it's just a bunch of Pokemon we don't really want to play, unfortunately. Yeah. Now, the one exception to this, maybe 2 exceptions, are actually cards I looked at earlier today. It's Lickitung and Lickilicky. Now, Lickitung's very interesting because it lets you draw a card for each of your Pokemon that has a retreat cost of exactly 4. So, one of the downsides of using a supporter card like this is that you don't actually get to draw any cards. You're using this, but you're not using Cynthia to give yourself a new hand of cards. Well, the ideal situation here is that you use Poke Maniac to search yourself 3 Pokemon with a retreat cost of 4 or more, and you start with 1, and then you get 2 somewhere else, and then you've got a full field of 6 out. And if you've got 6 here, then all of a sudden, for a single energy, Lickitung's drawing 6 cards. And that kind of solves your problem. Because now you get to get your Pokemon out using Poke Maniac, but then Lickitung comes in and he's like, don't worry, boy, I got your back. And then all of a sudden you're drawing 6 cards at the end of your turn. And frankly, on turn 1, if you can get down to 2 cards in hand, Lily draws you 6 cards. And that's like the best case scenario. This just draws you 6 cards. So actually, I'm not terribly upset about this. This is quite nice. And bearing in mind, this is what we're looking for. It's Pokemon Search. This is going to help you out. And just like with Professor Elm's lecture, this doesn't have to be turn 1. This can be your mid to late game. And that means that you can be searching for these Pokemon to evolve up and start smashing. I don't think you're going to want to be playing the Wailord, but if you do play that Wailord, you can go ahead and search it and you're good. You can use it to search out the Lickitung in the early game, and then grab your Lickilicky in the mid to late game. There's quite a lot here that I can get on board with. It's good Pokemon Search. And maybe in other formats it wouldn't be good enough. But we're not in other formats. By the time this comes out, we're going to be playing Ultra Prism on. And Pokemon Search is going to be at an absolute premium. So I suppose it comes down to a very simple thing. Are you playing Pokemon with a retreat cost of 4? If the answer is yes, this is a great card. If the answer is no, it's utter garbage. So let's give it between 3 and 4 Wassies. We don't give half Wassies. That would be barbaric. Not an absolute staple in every deck, complete garbage in a bunch of decks. But I think there are going to be enough decks out there, and bearing in mind this is going to be legal for a couple of years, so we've got a couple years worth of new cards being released that can take advantage of this, that at some point this is going to be a really good card. But I want to know what you think about it, ladies and gentlemen. So please do let me know in the comment section. Go nuts. But please do remember the rule, ladies and gentlemen. Be nice, would you? And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where we talk about games that don't have Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.